At the beginning of this year, I had no idea what I was doing with mixing. My vocals sounded muddy, my guitar sounded terrible, everything just sounded weak. So I decided, New Year's resolutions, what am I doing this year? Let's learn how to mix. Let's learn how to master. So I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to do a song with a lot of different layers, a lot of different instruments, put it all together, and see if I can actually execute. I wrote a song that has piano, synth, bass, drums, multiple guitar parts, you name it. I try to make it hard on myself. Another thing that I learned that just is kind of hard is you can kind of hear, I have a low voice. So I have a lot of energy in the low frequency content. Root note of my natural voice is below E2, lower than the lowest note on a guitar. I have the same frequency content in my voice as the bass guitar and the kick drum. So you can imagine how that makes it very challenging to mix. I, for years, could not figure out why my voice sounded so terrible through different mics and presets. And in reality, the whole problem all these years was EQ. EQ is 100% the biggest savior. And I learned how to use EQ. I learned how to cut low frequencies. I learned how to use side chaining to make sure the bass isn't hitting the drums and the drums aren't hitting me. A lot of work done to try to figure out how all the different frequencies are intermeshing. It's also going to change my songwriting going forward, because now I understand where everything is kind of hitting each other in those low frequency areas. I need to keep myself some space. Otherwise, you have to do a lot of work in the mixing environment to deal with that really low frequency, so things get clean and your voice can start to come out. I've kind of actually noticed this in a lot of other records. Like I listen to Jelly Roll. The guy also he has a higher voice than me, but they just cut out all the low frequency of his voice because it's fighting with all the lower instruments, where they could do the opposite and cut out some of the lower instruments and let his low voice kind of pop more. But nope, they did it the other way. Once I figured out how to get my voice right, listening to those Nirvana records, you can tell there's only a few guitars during the verse, and all of a sudden it's out wide and it's really heavy during the choruses. They're just taking multiple guitar tracks, stacking them with different effects and different distortions, and just getting this really heavy sound during the chorus. And they bring it away, put it into a non-distorted part in the verse. Put it together, you get a nice dynamic between the verse and the chorus. A lot of the instruments I already have. I already have a Geddy Lee jazz bass. I already have a Fender Precision bass. I already have a piano. I already had a Roland TD6 drum set. So it was just a matter of, can I execute it? And the only thing I was missing at the time were a lot of good plugins. So I scoured the internet, watched videos, I read articles about what are the best plugins to use, found a bunch. Some of the ones I really liked. TDR Nova for a great EQ that allows side chaining. I love the TDR Kolitnikov for the compressing. I love the soft tube saturation. It gives really nice saturation to your voice or your snare or any other piece you need. I got a few plugins for free through Focusrite. A few things like the Native Instruments Guitar Rig Free package that gives us a few things like reverbs and delays and even some more guitar pedals. So there's a lot of good stuff that you can get for free. Just you gotta know how to use it. And I even watch videos of guys talking about you don't even need all these expensive plugins and stuff. You can just use the plugins within your digital audio workstation. And he was playing with Reaper, doing the compressing and the limiting and the EQ. God, this guy can do it. I should be able to figure it out. Finally, I got to a point where I was happy with it. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. And in fact, mixes in general, a lot of them aren't very good. For a band that I love, for example, The Killers, Mr. Brightside is not a good mix. Like, no one's arguing that that's a good mix. But people love the song. It's a great song. So a great song shines through as long as the mix isn't completely detracting from the beauty of the song. I took that to heart. Why spend thousands of dollars going to a studio when I can spend the time to learn it at home? Yes, it took me a very long time to do. It took me a couple months. But hey, I can now say that I produced a song professionally, mixed it professionally, mastered it professionally, released it with no external help. That to me is something I've always wanted to do. I finally reached a dream that I wanted to be able to do that. Very excited to show you this song, I'd Rather Walk. So I hope you can appreciate all the hard work and effort I put into it.